Greetings, nerds. This is Will Polk, producer of the SNN podcast with our host, Sarah Belmont. We are very excited to announce a brand new show that we're kicking off here on our channel called SNN Presents Blerd Trek. Blerd Trek is all about celebrating the world of Star Trek from a Blerd's perspective. I'm a passionate Star Trek fan and a proud Blerd, and I will be bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights into the Star Trek universe. In each episode, I'll dive deep into the latest episodes, movies, and even the classic series that started it all. We'll discuss the characters, storylines, and themes that make Star Trek a beloved and wonderful franchise. So get ready to embark through the final frontier with SNN Presents Blerd Trek. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button so you never miss a single episode. In our inaugural episode of SNN Presents Blerd Trek, we thought it'd be very fitting to kick off our very first show on the Sisko Day. The Sisko Day is something that was set up by Cirroc Lofton, who played Jake Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Jake was of course Captain Sisko's son, and what is very special about this event, as Cirroc mentioned on the Seventh Rule podcast, and also kicked it off on the virtualtrek.com YouTube channel as well, was that May 22nd is the day that Benjamin Lafayette Sisko was named the emissary to the prophets to Bajor. And so this event is going to be an extravaganza, a 14-hour extravaganza, celebrating not only Captain Sisko, but also a celebration of Avery Brooks and his appreciation of Avery's work in bringing this memorable captain to life in the Star Trek universe. So the event, as I noted, goes all day. It'll be on various YouTube channels as far as the Seventh Rule, Virtual Trek Con, and also Falling Tower YouTube channels, so you can find them all there. The website, of course, will have the events also. It's thesiskoday.com. Kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it will be going for 14 hours. There'll be live events as well as some pre-recorded things as well. Kicks off with the showrunner, Ira Stephen Bear, at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. There'll be a nice live panel with Tawny Newsome and Cecilia Rose Gooding, who play Beckett Mariner and Uhura on Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, respectively, hosted by Cirroc Lofton and Ryan Husk, who both host the Seventh Rule. There'll also be a looking back on Avery Brooks and Captain Sisko from the widow of Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And how he felt about both the character and the actor. So it's going to be a very exciting event, really celebrating the amazing character of Benjamin Lafayette Sisko. Deep Space Nine, as you can see from my shirt, is my favorite Star Trek series, and I really can't wait to watch this today, and I encourage you all to do so as well. So again, you can go to the siskoday.com. There's also going to be the Sisko Wall, where fans had an opportunity to share what Star Trek and what Deep Space Nine and Captain Sisko meant to them. So you can go read some of those. That'll be unveiled on the website as well. They're going to be sharing this with Avery Brooks also. So he'll get to see how fandom really has appreciated him. So be sure to check it out throughout the day. And of course, if you can't see some of the events live due to various commitments, of course, the internet's forever. So you'll be able to check it out whenever it's convenient for you. So look forward to seeing you on some of the events, and say hello while you're there. For our last segment on our inaugural show, I wanted to quickly hit some recent items that came up with Strange New Worlds. Now, of course, Strange New Worlds is premiering less than a month from now on June 15 on Paramount Plus. And there was a recent interview with co-showrunner Akiva Goldsman in SFX magazine, which our friends over at trekmovie.com was kind enough to annotate and share with us on their website. And some of the things that went into this article, the showrunner talks about Lieutenant Kirk in Strange New World season 2, and also he gets into some things about canon and other stuff, but didn't really spoil anything major that we haven't already seen in trailers and other still photos and things that are out there. But we do get confirmation that the Gorn are going to be returning in the second season. We'll also see Captain Angel, who was such a hoot, portrayed by Jesse James Keitel in the first season, and then we also we do get some more details about Lieutenant Kirk. Now, if you recall, at the end of season 1, and if you haven't watched the first season, I'll only hit the highlights so I don't spoil anything. But we were introduced to Paul Wesley as James T. Kirk in the season finale, and he was Captain Kirk of the USS Farragut. And so I know many people have mixed feelings about Paul Wesley's portrayal. I personally like him as Captain Kirk. I think he brings a unique and fresh take to the character. Of course, it's not a parody of Shatner. I know some people compare it to Jim Carrey or whatever, but I don't see that. But getting back to the season finale, at the end of that season finale, we see Captain Pike pulling the service record for James Kirk, and of course we see that he's Lieutenant Kirk. Well, in this new article, it mentions that we will see Lieutenant Kirk, who's first officer of an unnamed starship. So, of course, we also know from the first season that Una, number one, was going to be court-martialed because of her being a genetically engineered, and her race in particular is barred from serving in Starfleet. So so it could be one of those situations where he's going to be acting first officer on Enterprise, or to honor canon, it's probably more likely, given the timeline, that he is probably first officer on the USS Farragut, which of course in the original series episode Obsession, we learned that Lieutenant Kirk was on the Farragut when it was attacked by the cloud creature, and of course later Matt Garavik served with Kirk. Captain Garavik's son served with Kirk on the Enterprise as security officer. So maybe, I think, if they honor canon, that is probably where we will see this in Strange New Worlds. And then also in this article, there were some discussions, of course, about the bending Star Trek, and then how they closely worked with Lower Deck showrunner Mike McMahon to find the tone to mix the crossover between Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. Of course, this past week we saw the transporter still photo of Jack Quaid and Tawny Newsome and Aaron Anson Mount, and on the transporter pad, showing in live action are Beckett and Boimler. So that will be an exciting episode. I'm definitely looking forward to that coming up this season. And then last in this article, the last bit that was of note was how they try to honor canon. And of course, as we know from the original series, Captain Kirk and Captain Pike apparently didn't meet until Captain Pike was promoted to fleet captain. And so one of the things Goldsman mentioned in this article is that they do try to honor canon, but at the end of the day, it's about the story. And if they have to make some adjustments to the existing canon, he says it's always a fun thing to try to honor that, but they will make things work so that they respect the old things, but also could tell a new story. And so that, I think, that is an appropriate way to honor both. So if you're in the UK, pick it up. Go check it out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of excerpts and stuff online, but thanks to the folks over at trekmovie.com for sharing that. And can't wait to the season premiere on June 15, and I will be doing reviews here on our channel of Strange New Worlds. Thank you so much for joining me on this inaugural episode of SNN Presents Blerd Trek. Our main show drops every Friday morning wherever you get your podcasts. And you can do that by going to our website, which is scrolling below at www.scenanerdpodcast.com. We talk about everything on our show from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, and The Boys, and everything in between from nerddom and geekdom. So be sure to check us out. Sarah's an awesome host, and we have a lot of fun, and we hope you will follow us on our main show as well. And with this new show that we're doing here, let me know what you think. I'd love to drop a comment. Love to hear what you thought about what I discussed this episode. And also, if you have any topics you'd like for me to discuss in the future, would love to hear from you. So be sure to rate, follow, and comment on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. Live long and prosper.